Two Geeks, Two Beers podcast. Nerdy obsessions, drunken ramblings with Morgan Jeffrey and Tom Eames.
Hello, and welcome to Two Geeks, Two Beers, butt breath.
Rude.
It's a pop culture podcast hosted by two guys who are neither gifted nor youngsters. I'm Morgan and he's Tom.
Hello.
Hello, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, can we still just about?
Yeah.
We're recording this at the...
It's coming out in January, this episode, so...
Yeah, it's fine.
It's that awkward thing when you go back to work and
Yeah.
people are still saying Happy New Year in emails,
Yeah.
like a good, we're into January like the 9th at this point.
Yeah, it's like,
oh, come on.
Pack it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, been up so much?
A few things here and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bits and bobs.
Got married and that.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
How was that?
Very nice, yeah.
Yeah. The I saw Tom once before tonight.
Yeah.
Post marriage.
Mm.
And the first thing I made us do was put our wedding rings together
Yeah.
and say our powers combined, like Captain Planet.
It was a nice little tender moment.
Yeah.
The little clink of the...
People are like, oh, they're making that up.
Yeah.
No, actually,
I'm really afraid to say.
I actually did that.
It did happen, yeah. But no, it was great. I had a nice month away in America.
Very nice.
I met Elvis.
Yeah.
He was great.
Yeah.
Great form.
Tell him how much you love Change of Habit with Mary Tyler Moore.
I didn't get a chance to mention that.
No, well, there's a lot to ask him.
It was assumed.
Yeah.
Everyone loves that film.
Well, sure. He's like,
Yeah.
I've heard it all before. Yeah. Well.
How about you? Everything all good?
Yeah. Didn't get married.
No.
Would have been weird if I had.
Yeah.
Would have been in Gary Sparrow territory, to be fair.
Yeah, very big of me, big of you. Yeah.
Well,
Anyway,
let's get on to what we're actually talking
welcome
about.
back, everyone.
Yeah, welcome back.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks for sticking with us this long.
2024.
Yeah.
This is our 10th year. No, it's next year.
Next year.
It's our ninth. Well, technically, it's our 10th year.
Is it?
I never figured this out. Hang on. Keep talking.
I thought you were struggling with working out what was 1 less than 10. I thought you were like...
Technically, it's our 10th year.
Oh, okay, is
So
it?
we started in 2015.
Yeah.
So technically, it's our 10th year.
Right. Yeah.
10-year anniversary next year.
Okay.
Which doesn't really make sense because technically it's your 11th year, but fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, here we go.
Well, I mean, we don't have to do anything. We'll worry about that
Next year.
Next year, we're going to pull out all the
Tell us
stops.
what you think we should do to celebrate 10 years.
Good shout.
What do you think is the best thing? What would you like to hear? Would you like it to be a Q&A, a live episode, or looking back at past episodes?
Yeah.
Just have a think because we don't know.
Give the people what they want.
Yeah.
Whatever will create the most work for Tom.
Yeah.
So maybe you want like a retrospective of all previous 124 episodes with the best of clips from every single one. You could just throw that together. That'd be.
We did a best of for after 50 episodes.
Yeah.
That was a slog.
What a hassle.
And then we were going to do it for the 100th episode. I can't do it again.
No, should we just
can't do it?
Yeah. And we weren't going to do all 100. We were just going to do like 51 to 100.
Yeah.
Like,
I just couldn't
far
do it.
too much.
No.
Sorry,
everyone.
Far too much effort.
Anyway, what are we doing this week?
Well, I would say, I don't know if you agree, that the modern age of superhero adaptations arguably kicked off with 2000s X-Men.
Yeah, you could say Blade.
A couple of years before, sure.
But X-Men was a different level above.
A different league, yeah. It led to the likes of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, 2003's Daredevil and Hulk.
Yeah.
What a year that was for superhero cinema.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy.
Course,
and eventually the dawn of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with 2008's Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Almost 25 years later, we've arguably reached peak superhero. Whether you love it, loathe it, or used to love it, and are now uploading daily videos to YouTube whining about the latest MCU release post-Endgame.
Are we in superhero fatigue? That's the new phrase.
This is it. There's no denying that comic book movies and TV shows are everywhere. But it wasn't always like this, Tom. The spoiled, overfed comic book fans of today would do well to remember the dark days where every tiny morsel was leapt upon and devoured, no matter the quality. Mm-hmm. Everything from 1978's Doctor Strange TV pilot to 1990's direct-to-video Captain America movie to the 1998 Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV pilot starring David Hasselhoff.
What?
Yeah.
Was that a thing?
That's a thing.
Wow. Okay.
Future episode fodder.
Yeah.
Potentially.
They did a full pilot.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, it's absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
Speaking of dreadful, today we'll be looking back at one such pre-MCU oddity, the 1996 TV movie Generation X. Just nothing.
I'm blank. I have
registering
the only thing I can think of is Generation X, Generation Strange, Limp Bizkit.
Yeah, it's not an entire.
That's the only thing I know. Are we in Generation X? No, we're not, are we? Are we?
No, we're millennials. We're millennials. Yeah.
Which one was Generation X? Is that even a thing?
Yeah. Yes. Even just made. Yeah. It's the generation before us. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
You know how like 10 minus 1 is 9.
Yeah.
Yeah. One generation before us is
and what's after us?
Gen Z.
Gen Z.
Yeah.
There wasn't another one after that.
I don't think so.
Interesting. Who comes up with these and decides?
Let's assume that there's not another generation between us and Gen Z, because that would mean we're really old.
Yeah, we are now.
Yeah. That would have to mean that like we're the kind of guys who've been doing a podcast for 10 years.
Yeah, with little to no success.
And that would be really sad.
Yeah.
So coming up, the surprising links between Generation X, the X-Men movies, the animated series, and Doctor Who.
Oh.
What?
What?
A long-standing X-Men myth busted.
Okay.
Busted
are on it.
No, not Charlie Simpson and his ilk.
Yeah,
no, it's not.
Excited.
No, I'm myth busting.
Yeah.
But in no way that will get us sued by the owners of the Mythbusters trademark.
Yeah.
And no, you didn't dream it. The potty-mouthed alternative edit of Generation X.
Right.
So let's get into it. So
I don't think I've come into an episode of ours knowing
less
about something.
And that's that. You come into most episodes knowing little.
Because you told me about what you're doing, and I saw you tweet about it, obviously, to get some,
Yeah.
And I had forgotten earlier today, because I always ask you to send me your notes so I can get it ready,
Yeah.
And I'd forgotten what it was. It was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. None the wiser.
Still nothing.
None the wiser.
So here we go.
Well, here we go. So Generation X was a television film aired on Fox in the United States, running to 87 minutes. It was produced by Marvel Films, the precursor to Marvel Studios, made for a budget of $4 million, a little less than $8 million in today's money.
But not much.
No, but that was a lot apparently.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I don't really have any like sense of like scope or scale.
Yeah,
like, what
I suppose
it's not like it's
this is early 90s, is it?
96.
96. So
lot, but like the pilot for Lost cost like 14 million or something.
Yeah, well, TV budgets didn't really pick up to like Sopranos and that kind of stuff.
No, but I think that was quite a lot of money. To I'm not sure where it went, but that's quite a lot of money. And it was filmed over 24 days, so not a huge amount of time in Vancouver, Canada. It was based on the Marvel comic book series of the same name, Generation X, a spin-off of the X-Men franchise from writer Scott Lobdell and artist Chris Bachalo, which had launched in November 1994. So Generation X followed a team of teenage mutants mentored not by X-Men founder Charles Xavier, his New York estate, but by the former X-Man Banshee and reformed villainess Emma Frost at a splinter school in Western Massachusetts.
It's like Sean Connery doing a Bee Gees cover.
Yeah.
So this is like a rival X-Men company. So Banshee was like, I've had enough of this. Charles, you're not running it properly. And he's like, I'm going to run a new rival X-Men type thing.
I think
Pepsi.
It wasn't like the Pepsi to the X-Men's Coke. I think it was more like they're the X-Men in training. It's like, these are like teenagers.
So was it officially affiliated with?
Yeah.
So Charles knew what was happening.
Charles signed off on it. Charles rubber stamped it. He was fine with it. It was like, we'll take them to Massachusetts, and we'll take them over there, and we'll teach them how to be X-Men. One day they'll sort of, take up the mantle. Is the idea?
Got to give Banshee something to do.
Yeah, you got to do something. Great character, often underused. Early issues of Generation X, in particular, the comic, were popular with fans and critics, who praised Scott Lobdell's dialogue and authentic characterization of the teen characters, and Chris Bachalo's artwork. So well written. Great artwork, very popular at the time. It's kind of one of the defining early to mid 90s Marvel comics, I would say. The TV adaptation aired just 15 months after the comic series debuted.
Very popular. Yeah.
Well, I think that speaks to how popular the comic was. They were like,
we have to make this.
We have to make this. Yeah. It aired on the 20th of February, 1996. The film was written by Eric Blakeney, a fan of the comic and best known for a stint as showrunner on 21 Jump Street, where the characters weren't teenagers, but they were pretending to be, I guess. And it was directed by Jack Sholder, best known for his work in the horror film genre, most notably 1985's A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge. Blakeney was keen to stick close to the source material, but budget restrictions meant that a direct translation of the comic was impossible, and two characters who had featured in the comic, Chamber and Husk, were replaced. In the comic, Chamber's chest and the lower half of his face were destroyed when his powers emerged, with the resulting cavity permanently filled with plasma energy, while Husk's power allowed her to shed her skin, revealing a new skin of a different composition beneath, such as a metal or stone form. Pretty expensive to realise on screen. Blakeney told the LA Times, "It was very frustrating for all of us. One mutant we really wanted to include was Chamber, but his visual features were just too expensive to realise." And Chamber was actually my favourite member of Generation X because he was British, and British, but written by an American writer. So as good as the writing on Generation X was, and it was,
it's a bit Don Cheadle.
He would say things like, "Oh, what the ruddy hell's going on over here?" It's like. I'm not sure anyone has ever actually used
the word ruddy for years.
I don't think anyone's ever actually used it. I think it's an invention of American writers who go, what's the kind of thing that a British person might say? But I like that he was very cool, he was punk, he was British. So a big loss. But they couldn't include those characters, too expensive. So instead, the film's producers consulted with Generation X comic writer Scott Lobdell to create two new characters, Refrax and Buff. Buff. We'll come back to Buff.
Was he buff?
Well, she's buff. She's buff.
She buff?
Yeah. The idea was that if these two new characters, Refrax and Buff, proved popular, they might be retroactively added to the comic series.
Like
Harley Quinn.
Harley Quinn. Yes.
Yeah. Who originated in Batman the animated series and then got introduced into the comics. I think it's fair to say that Refrax and Buff maybe don't have the same level of legacy as Harley Quinn.
All right.
Yeah, it didn't happen. They did not prove popular enough to.
Justice for Refrax.
Justice for Refrax. Justice for Buff. # Justice for Buff. Shall we watch the trailer for Generation X?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Tonight, Fox presents a world premiere motion picture from the creators of the hit comic book series The X-Men comes Generation X. They've got the power. They've got the technology. They're the new generation of superheroes, and they're coming to save the world. You can't win. I need some help out here, come on! Get ready for Generation X on the Fox Tuesday night movie.
It's so funny, like, pre-budgets. Oh,
pre-budgets.
Yeah, it's just.
It costs. How did that cost $4 million? That's $8 million in today's money.
It's just pre-CGI being what it became. And it's just so hard to not make it look lame.
You say that, but it was like when was Jurassic Park?
93.
Yeah, 3 years after Jurassic Park.
Come on.
If you had the money, you could make it happen. But they had the money.
Yeah.
So in the film, rebellious teenager Jubilation Lee, nicknamed Jubilee.
Jubilation?
Yeah.
That's their name?
Yeah.
Their first name?
First name.
Okay.
First name Jubilation, last name Lee.
Right.
Nickname Jubilee.
Nice.
That's one where they were like, I want a character called Jubilee. What's their real name? Jubilation Lee.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
They've done it that way. She finds herself in trouble after her mutant fireworks powers manifest at a local arcade.
So annoying.
It is annoying when that happens. Similar to the character's introduction in the first episode of X-Men the Animated Series, which debuted in 1992. Check out episode 18 of this podcast for more on that. She is rescued from her predicament by Emma Frost, the White Queen, and Sean Cassidy, Banshee.
Sean Cassidy?
Yeah.
He like one of the... I feel like it was in the Partridge Family or something. He was Sean Cassidy. He was someone, wasn't he?
He's Banshee from the X-Men.
I'm sure he was something else. Hang on. I'm just making this up. Oh no, yeah, Sean Cassidy. Spelt differently.
Okay.
You know, the AUN Sean.
Yeah.
He was like a heartthrob back in the Sean Cassidy, yeah. He was, like in the era of David Cassidy.
Yeah. Is he related to David Cassidy? Is he related to David Cassidy?
He must be.
Well, David Cassidy is the...
Yeah, his half-brother is David Cassidy.
Wow. I was going to say it's like So David Cassidy is the father of Katie Cassidy,
right,
who played like Black Canary in the Arrowverse.
See, it's all these links.
Well, except that Sean Cassidy is not in any way linked. He just has the same name as Banshee from the X-Men. Not even spelled the same.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, sorry about that.
So no, it's fine. Jubilee is rescued from her predicament by Emma Frost. and Sean Cassidy, but not the one from
Just
not
It's like if you're like, she rescued from a predicament by Emma Frost and Donny Osmond.
Yeah.
And the head,
that would be great.
I'd watch it.
They are the headmasters of Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. They recruit Jubilee and offer her sanctuary at the school, a place where mutants learn to control their powers. The trio then pick up teenager Angelo Espinosa, also known as Skin, and proceed to the school where Jubilee and Skin are introduced to their fellow students, M, Mondo, Buff, and Refrax.
I'm just imagining Skin from Skunk and Anansie now.
It's not quite. So I should give some context.
Okay.
I just wanted to get this clip in here because it's one of my favourite moments from the film. So basically, Jubilee and Skin have rocked up at the school. The other students are like, "Oh, who are you?" You know, kind of sizing them up a little bit. And Mondo is like, "Right, let's play some football," because they're American. So it's like, I'll judge you how much of a man you are by how well you can play football. So that's the setup for this scene. So they're all playing football, American football, and Emma Frost and Sean Cassidy happen upon them.
Okay.
They should have gone through orientation and then been formally introduced.
You should lighten up a wee bit, With over 6 mind, which you certainly are tight
What accent is he trying to do?
Wax your chest
Irish.
hair.
And she's British.
She is actually British.
Come on. Go big.
You can't get that.
So Skin's got the ball. Mondo's now got the ball. Oh, what's going on? Oh, he's got Skin's arm and it's gone really long and stretchy.
But is Skin's arm meant to go stretchy?
Yeah, but it hurts him when it does it.
Oh, right. It's a shit power. What's he doing?
He's got his sonic scream. There's just you talked over a little bit, but it's one of my favourite bits where they're all piling on each other, sort of scrapping, and Banshee sort of marches towards them and he goes, "All right, you heathens, break it up,
Break it up.
you heathens." Great.
Wow. It's I guess it's that era of Saved by the Bell and Hang Time and all these sort of high school. Okay.
You know, we will come back to it.
All right.
Weirdly, we will come back to it.
Of course we will.
So at the school, the students are taught not only to cope with their mutant powers, but also how to cope with a world that hates and fears them. That classic X-Men setup. The students are warned not to leave the school grounds lest they come into conflict with the townies from the local area.
The townies?
The townies from the local area, yeah.
Hey, Kayla, how you doing? This guy bothering you?
No. Why don't you leave us alone, Lance, okay?
Of course, he's called Lance, of course.
Where you from, Pancho?
Lance.
Xavier. Oh, juvie school. Come on, Kayla, you're gonna get a rep hanging around with this. Loser.
Loser.
Okay, it's not a juvie school. It's for special kids.
Wow.
It's for retards.
Whoa!
Look at that, man. Now, you see, homeboy finally scored through the sorority, and the townies are getting ready to smoke him.
Oh, I'm really ready to transfer some hostility, man. Okay.
Mondo's picked up a rock. He's absorbed the power of the rock, so now he's like rock, basically.
Oh, he's like rock.
Yeah.
Retards.
Say it again.
Be the problem, Muffin Man.
Muffin Man.
More special kids from juvie school. Welcome to Hastings, butt breath.
He tried punching him and now he's rock. So.
Well, that's enough of that. You get the idea.
You forget that words like that were just sort of said in normal vernacular back then.
I mean, that guy is meant to be a dick.
I know, but
Lance.
still, the idea that they wrote that in and kept
it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, more, the things that jump out at me are more...
Muffin Man.
Muffin Man.
What's that?
He's like, tough talk. What seems to be the problem, Muffin Man? And then he goes...
Do you know the Muffin Man?
Yeah. But then he's like,
Ooh.
welcome to Hastings, butt breath. Butt breath and Muffin Man. These are the kind of
Butt breath.
insults.
Oh my God.
No. You've gone too far. This is always like insults. It's my problem with the film 8 Mile.
Right.
Where it's so.
Never seen it.
Never seen 8 Mile.
Never seen it.
But you know, the premise is that Eminem is kind of rap battling all these dudes. And like, he goes up on stage and he's like, oh man, gotta really like psych myself up for this rap battle. And then they go up on stage and they're like, yo, you suck, Rabbit, you suck. you're bad at rapping.
Yeah.
You suck. And then he like walks off stage and he's like, like it's causing him physical pain. He's like, I lost the rap battle.
He called me
and
rabbit.
it's literally like they went on stage and called you lame. And he's like, oh no. And it's like, they try to, it's like, it's Rocky with rapping. It's like, it's not though, because if Rocky gets hit, he actually like suffers physical pain. Whereas this whole thing is like, oh, he said I was lame and bad at rapping. Well, I'm literally gonna like collapse inside physically. Yeah. To be clear, his name is actually Rabbit. That's like an insult.
I thought it was like a weird insult.
No, he's like, you little rabbit. Yeah, no. Anyway, so in addition to coping with their new abilities, Jubilee and Skin find their dreams haunted by Russell Tresh, played by Matt Frewer. Max Headroom. Yeah. A mad scientist obsessed with the power of dreams. Tresh believes that material extracted from mutants' brains will allow him to develop his own psychic abilities, like he can sort of plant it in his brain and get superpowers. Skin succumbs to Tresh's... Every time I say Skin now, I'm thinking of Skin, Skunk Anansi. So thanks for that. Right. I mean, not that it's a bad thing. It's just like weird to imagine them in this film. Skin succumbs to Tresh's power and Generation X assembles to rescue him and defeat Tresh. Okay. The film ends with the team's new uniforms being unveiled, hinting at more adventures to come.
Something tells me those adventures didn't come.
They did not come. No.
I want full enlightenment.
Dr. D's gone corporate. Can you dance?
Cap him with a necro buyout. Bam. A causal defenestration, chica.
Transparent.
Call it.
Zap.
Oh, chemical marriage? I got Francis Bacon.
Zap.
Ooh.
Why is there like dramatic lighting and smoke behind her? Unclear.
This is the White Ranger.
Well, kids, what do you think of your new uniforms?
They're shitted, aren't they? What do you think of your uniforms? I had Bloody hell. Is he actually Irish, that guy?
No, he's Canadian. Yeah.
Why did they make him Irish?
Because Banshee is Irish.
Get an Irish guy.
Well, yeah, that's the question. Yeah. Not why did they make him Irish? Why did you not hire an Irish actor? Yeah.
There always have to be Lucky Charms. That's what he sounds like.
So, let's get into the cast.
Yeah.
So, playing telepathic Emma Frost, a.k.a. the White Queen, the school's Frosty headmistress, she was played by British actress Finola Hughes. A natural brunette, Hughes wore a blonde wig for the role and told Wizard magazine that as a size 34B, she struggled to stay true to her comic counterpart's cleavage. Say that 3 times fast. Comic counterpart's cleavage.
Also, Wizard magazine?
Yeah, it was like a magazine about comics.
Okay.
Great magazine.
Well, just wizardry and magic.
Yeah.
Before its time.
Yeah. Hughes is best known for her role as Anna Devane on the ABC soap operas General Hospital and All My Children, and her portrayal of Laura in the 1983 film Staying Alive, the sequel to Saturday Night Fever. Nice. She also played Patty Halliwell, mother of the Charmed ones on the TV series Charmed, and later took on another comic book role, providing the voice of Lara, Superman's biological mother, in Superman, the animated series.
Bit of a geek queen.
Yeah, geek queen, Finola Hughes. Sandra Oh also auditioned for the part.
Wow.
A pre-fame, a pre-Grey's Anatomy. Sandra Oh. So there you go. So Jeremy Ratchford plays Sean Cassidy, or Banshee, an Irish mutant who can produce a sonic scream and runs the Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters with Emma Frost. Ratchford, who was Canadian, bless him. He's best known for his role of Nick Vera in the TV series Cold Case and played vampire Lyle Gorch in the Buffy the Vampire Slayer episodes Bad Eggs and Homecoming. Now, this is interesting. This I found out preparing for this episode. I'm about to upset the whole basis of what the internet is built on. Not really, but there's a well-established...
You're gonna break the internet.
Yeah, I'm going to break the internet. That's another way of saying what I just said, yeah. There's a well-established fact, in inverted commas, related to this movie and X-Men the Animated Series. It's a myth, Tom. It's a myth. So, Ratchford is widely credited as having also voiced Banshee in X-Men the Animated Series. Now, this rung false to me for a few reasons, is that beginning in that show began in 1994, so 2 years prior to Generation X being made and broadcast. I've read interviews with the director of Generation X where he talks about Jeremy Ratchford just submitting an audition tape and getting cast off on that basis. So what, he was like voicing the character and then separately submitted an audition tape, and they were like, this guy's good. It's like, of course he's good. He's been doing it on the animated show. I mean, what, they didn't know?
Yeah.
I found an interview with Jeremy Ratchford where he says he did not voice Banshee in X-Men animated series, some other guy.
Poor guy.
But the point is, that is out there on the internet. But like, you look on IMDb,
can't trust that.
You look on Wikipedia, everywhere you look on the internet, it says Jeremy Ratchford also voiced it in the animated series. It's the ultimate IMDb-baitable. He did not. So I'm putting it out there. Don't know. It's
exclusive.
It's a fact. It's not exclusive. It's not exclusive because I took it from another interview.
Yeah,
but the point is, if you haven't heard it before, it's exclusive.
Yeah.
If you haven't heard it, it's new to you.
You're like well up for Generation X.
Yeah.
Then this is fucking mental news.
This is crazy news. Or X-Men the animated series fan.
Yeah.
Jeremy Ratchford did not voice Banshee. Didn't think he sounded the same. But he did apparently come close to being cast as the voice of Wolverine in X-Men the animated series. So he did have bizarrely some association with it. He eventually lost out to Cal Dodd. Heather McComb, she played Jubilee. Her casting was controversial, as in the comic books, Jubilee is Asian American. Director Jack Shoulder later insisted that the script did not mention the character's Asian ethnicity, nor is it mentioned in the casting breakdown that went out to agents. But I mean, just pick up a comic, mate.
Yeah.
Like, do it there. It's like, oh, I didn't know. It's not that hard to find out. McComb is best known for recurring roles on shows including Party of Five and the NBC crime drama Profiler, and from 2003 to 2010 was married to Dawson's Creek actor James Van Der Beek. Tough to say which contains the most iconic depiction of teenage struggles, Dawson's Creek or Generation X, but I'll leave that to our listeners to mull over. Mondo. He's a hot-headed student who often gets into fights. He has the ability to take on the properties of any organic or inorganic matter he touches. Consequently, he does not like Jell-O. Steers clear of it.
When you say touch, does it mean eating?
Yeah, that's a good point. No, I think he has to choose to do
and
it.
His hands?
Yeah, his hands.
So his feet are fine.
Well, I think he has to choose to do. Yeah, because that's a good point. Like, what if he's wearing shoes?
So does his brain have to go right now?
Yeah. What if he's wearing shoes and then he turns into suede?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which how would that be? Just a bit furry and.
But it's not like the matter, and it's.
I guess he can direct where
if he touches water?
Maybe turn into water.
But does he turn into it? Is he just the?
Well, in the comics, he turns into it.
A shit power, really.
Here, apparently a low budget of $4 million, he just sort of becomes the consistency of rock or water or Jell-O.
The hindrance of anything.
Yeah, well. The athletic Mondo presented here was a far cry from the comic original, where he is presented as a stocky Samoan. The role was played, and as I was preparing for this episode, I was like, Tom's going to have fun with this. The role was played by Bumper Robinson. Yeah, it's like, Tom will enjoy that. Bumper Robinson. No, nothing.
Wow.
You kicked off about Jubilation Lee, which is a fictional character's name. This man's name is actually Bumper. Bumper Robinson.
His actual name?
Well, no, he's called Larry Robinson, but his nickname is Bumper.
Why? I wonder what happened.
I'm not sure why. What happened? What was his origin story?
He just loved those rides at the fair.
Bumper cars.
Yeah, he just loved it.
Do Americans call them bumper cars?
I don't know.
Or do they call them something? What's the Dodgems? Dodgem is definitely the British.
Yeah,
it must be they're bump.
Maybe he.
No, they do. They do. Do you know why I know? Because in X-Men the animated series, Juggernaut is throwing Charles around, and he says,
throwing Charles around.
Yeah, and he says, "This is more fun than bumper cars."
There you go.
So there you go. That's how I know.
Maybe Larry just so good at bumper cars. He just is.
Or maybe he just loved that scene from X-Men animated series. Yeah. Maybe the connections are. And actually, if you think about it, what's the British one? Dodgems. Of course, we're going to call them. Hey, get in the Dodgems. Get in the Dodgems. What you mean the bumper cars, right? The bumper cars. Right? You mean the bumper cars? No, I mean the Dodgems. Dodgems. Bumper Robinson. Dodgem Robinson. He had also appeared in Sabrina the Teenage Witch, Cosby Show spinoff A Different World, and the US sitcom Guys Like Us. He is also a prominent voice actor with roles in series including Transformers Animated, playing Bumblebee and other characters, and another Marvel connection. He voices War Machine, or voiced War Machine, in The Avengers, Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and played Falcon in Avengers Assemble, the animated series. So he's got a few more links to Marvel there. Another team member of Generation X, Monet, or M, played by Amaryllis. Just the one name, like Zendaya or Seal.
Is this the way to Amaryllis?
So the character M is super intelligent, has enhanced physical abilities, and level 8 invulnerability. I feel like invulnerability doesn't really have levels. You're either invulnerable or you're not.
Is there a level 9?
Yeah, it's like how much more invulnerable can you be, or less? You're kind of either invulnerable or you're not. Yeah.
It's like if you pull hair, that still hurts.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Well, Amaryllis was previously a series regular on the first season of Sweet Valley High.
Sweet Valley High. Got to do an episode on that one day. Best theme tune of all time.
Well, we need to get to the bottom of how can there be two different girls who look the same at Sweet Valley High? How, Tom?
I know.
It must be another mutant thing.
Crowded hall. You see, there's a beauty standing. Is she really everywhere, or a reflection? I know it's like
that was good. I'm impressed you know that much.
The other shy and quiet. Could there be two different girls who look the same at Sweet? Could there be two different girls? Yes, they're twins.
They're twins, identical twins. The person who wrote that, the whole premise of Sweet Valley High is hinged on the idea that the notion of identical twins is like bizarre and alien to whoever wrote that theme song. Like, what? They look the same, but they have different personalities.
What are you talking about?
What? This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
I stand by.
How can there be two different girls who look the same at Sweet Valley High? How?
I stand by.
Yeah.
The full length version of the theme tune.
Yeah.
It is one of the best.
It's great
songs of all time.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the best songs in the 90s.
One of the best songs of all time.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Like grunge pop at its best.
Yeah.
It's so like I'm annoyed. Why was it never released as a single?
Yeah.
Really good. I listen to it now. It's a great song.
And it poses an important question.
Yeah. What? How can
there be two different girls who look the same at Sweet Valley High? Yeah. So Amaryllis appeared in the first season. She played the character Patty Gilbert. Her final acting credit to date was in a 1998 episode of Guys Like Us, reuniting her with Generation X co-star Bumper Robinson. Agustin Rodriguez, he played Angelo Espinosa, or Skin, who has skin that can stretch in a variety of different ways, including the ability to wrap himself around objects.
So he's like a shit Stretch Armstrong, because it happens, but it hurts him.
Yeah.
Whereas Stretch doesn't care. He's just like, you can stretch me as much as you like if you want.
Stretch don't care.
Yeah, Fetch is fine as well.
Fetch is fine.
But Skin, ow, rubbish.
It's not great, is it?
No. You don't want, like, every time Iron Man was in his suit, go, it really hurts.
It's like, I do have all these powers, but it's pretty uncomfortable in here, if I'm honest. Like,
and I'm sure it was.
Yeah, well,
you look at Iron Man sometimes, and he's doing all that stuff. It's like, that can't be good. You know, when you put a pair of trousers on, which is too, the material's not great, and the waist is a bit whatever.
Yeah.
Imagine being an Iron Man suit.
Can't be comfy.
Nah.
Cannot be comfy. Suzanne Davis played Arlie Hicks, or Buff, whose mutation increased her muscle mass and strength. In one scene, we glimpse Buff's muscled back. I almost said Muff's muscled back. Buff's muscled back, which saw the Ms. Western Canada bodybuilding champion double for Davis. Davis was otherwise best known for her role as a series regular in the second season of US teen sitcom Malibu CA, part of the Peter Engel-verse, which featured cast crossovers with Hang Time and City Guys. So there you go.
Hang Time.
Yeah.
Together.
Another great 90s theme tune.
Yeah.
Why was it not released as a single?
Why was it not? Why not?
Yeah.
Back then, everything was released as a single. I'm annoyed that both of those didn't get.
How? So was the theme tune to Saved by the Bell released as a single?
Don't think it was.
Should have been.
Again.
Mate, California Dreams.
Yeah.
That.
Feeling groovy.
Oh, so good. Soft dudes with attitude. So good. Kinda groovy. Laid back to sky above. Great.
I think we should ask or put
good
together.
Vibrations.
There's got to be
feeling mellow.
A vinyl album.
Yeah.
Of just 90s American
theme tunes.
Just kids, technically kids shows.
Yeah.
You know, just sort of those.
Yeah.
You know, well, Heartbreak High was Australian, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that kind of thing?
Yeah. Well, that was an instrumental, but great. Yeah. Randall Slavin, he played Kurt Pistorius, Pistorius, or Refrax. His eyes emit radiation, giving him X-ray vision and heat beams. He wears
hurt him as well. Does it hurt every time?
No, he's all right. He's all right. He wears special glasses to control his powers.
That's the Cyclops.
Yeah, where'd they get the idea for that? Yeah, Cyclops. He's Cyclops.
Couldn't think of anything else.
Apparently not.
I thought Cyclops was like, dude, already been doing this for years.
Yeah. No, he's basically Cyclops. Right. Refrax is a practical joker who has a crush on Buff and is best friends with Mondo. Slavin described the character as an all-round frat, skate punk, lustful guy.
Is this the guy with the blonde hair? And
Yeah.
He looked like a shit Billy Idol.
Yeah. Or like he should be like one of Blink 182.
But again, it's that thing, you can tell they created it for the show. It's that kind of
very 1996.
Poochie from The Simpsons.
Yeah.
It's that sort of thing where they're just trying to be cool. Like, what do the kids like? That guy.
Refrax died on the way back to his home planet. Slavin went on to have roles in episodes of Diagnosis Murder, Angel, and CSI, but eventually moved away from acting and is now a photographer specializing in celebrities and fashion. Huh. He's doing pretty well for himself, I have to say. His work has appeared in Vanity Fair, GQ, Esquire, Rolling Stone, and many others. Check out his Instagram, Randall Slavin. He's got photos of Claire Danes, Kevin Hart, John Hamm, Ethan Hawke, Michael Keaton, Jeremy Renner, like proper people.
Good.
He's like a photographer to the stars now.
Good.
Doing really well for himself. Yeah. Well done, Randall. Yeah. Finally, Matt Frewer plays Dr. Russell Tresh, an unethical scientist and researcher who is investigating psychic powers. Tresh's backstory is that he worked on a project with Emma Frost who got him fired for his unethical behavior. Following this, he put his talents towards the advertising industry, where he uses the money to build a machine to access the dream dimension. What? Don't worry about it. Okay. Frewer, as you've indicated, best known for playing Max Headroom. Yeah. In this, he's very much giving like Jim Carrey and Batman Forever vibes. There's a lot of kind of like, oh, I'm going to take you to the dream dimension. There's a lot of kind of that kind of thing going on. Eric Blakeney, who was the writer-producer on Generation X, he was delighted to get Frewer for the role of Tresh, having worked with the actor on Max Headroom. Blakeney was a writer-producer on that show. So. I
feel like there's a parallel dimension where Matt Frewer is up there with Jim Carrey, or he got all the roles Jim Carrey got.
Yeah.
He's so good. I feel like he should have done more stuff.
Yeah. He's like, is he good in this?
Is anyone good in this?
The thing is, right, he's not good in it, but also like, it's far more memorable for his performance.
Right.
So I guess that's good.
He adds a level of gravitas.
No, I wouldn't call it gravitas, but it's
he adds
something. I don't know how you would qualify it, but it's definitely something.
He's in it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He's more than just in it. Yeah. Most people who are in this are just in it. Yeah. He is like giving something.
He's trying.
He is putting in a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And it's like, is it working in quite the way we'd want it to? Maybe not, but you cannot fault him for effort.
Okay.
He is giving everything, Matt Frewer, in this. Reflecting on the film's casting in a 2015 interview, director Jack Shoulder said, a lot of the cast were kind of the best we could come up with. I think we did very well on some of the characters, not so good on some of the other characters. I think the guy who plays Skin is kind of weak. He didn't hold back. All right, Jack.
Wow.
Yeah. Shoulder barge.
I thought he was all right in those clips. He seems okay.
Yeah, he's
as
fine.
Good as anyone else.
He's fine, yeah.
Okay.
Fact smash.
Smash.
We're gonna smash. We're gonna smash those facts. We're gonna smash. We're gonna smash those facts. Fact smash.
We've got to come up with a fucking jingle. I've got to actually put some money together.
We've got about 6 great ones now.
For facts get smashed.
Fact smash.
Come on. Right, yeah.
Brought to you in association with Smashing
If
Facts.
anyone wants to make us a fact smash jingle, please do.
Yes, send us.
We will play literally anything. If you want to do any kind of like little package, we'll play it.
Any we love any little package.
Yeah.
We do. Fact smash. The mansion used in the Generation X film to represent the Xavier Institute is Hatley Castle, which is also used as Xavier's school in X-Men 2, X-Men The Last Stand, X-Men Days of Future Past, Deadpool, X-Men Apocalypse, and Deadpool 2. So yeah, up until a few years ago,
So it was the first time it was used?
Yeah, first time.
They were like, do you know what?
Looks like somewhere where you'd have some...
Generation X was shit, but they had a good castle.
Yeah, great castle.
Yeah.
Great cast? No, castle. Castle. Hatley Castle also served as the Luthor family mansion.
Luthor.
It also served as the Luthor family mansion on the television series Smallville.
Yeah.
And as the Queen family mansion in early seasons of the television series Arrow. Is this the only mansion in British Columbia?
Yeah.
This is what's happening where they're like, there's only one mansion. I guess it's got to be that one then. Yeah. Hatley Castle.
Right.
Raking it in.
Yeah.
Another fact smash. Tresh's Dream Machine helmet was reused later that same year, 1996, by the same production crew in the 1996 Doctor Who TV movie starring Paul McGann. There's a bit where like
helmet.
There's a bit where like, so basically Tresh has got like a dream machine.
Yeah.
And they used it in the Doctor Who TV movie when the Master is like torturing the 8th Doctor and he's like, oh, I'm gonna steal your lives, Doctor. And yeah, he's Paul McGann.
I suppose it was an American production, wasn't it? So they
Fox.
It's in the same.
Yeah. Filmed in Vancouver.
They just found it.
Filmed in Vancouver like this. Fox, same production crew. So they were like, got this prop line about. Let's use it in the great Doctor Who tradition. Yeah. Now, this is my favourite fact smash of the day. The UK video release of Generation X contains Jubilee spouting off a few swears, which were not in the version that aired on US television, which was, went out like primetime broadcast. But part of the reason, other than the fact that we were like starved of content, part of the reason like me and my friends loved Generation X at the time was because there was swearing in it. So we obviously thought that was super cool. There's one sequence where Jubilee is talking to Skin about a dream she's had where Russell Tresh invaded her dreams. And she says, and I quote, "I technically shit my fucking pants." And we were like, she swore twice. That's pretty cool.
What do you mean I technically shit my fucking pants?
I technically shit my fucking pants.
What do you mean technically?
I think that's what she said. I think she's talking about like technology rather than like, I theoretically shit my fucking pants. I think that's what she's talking about.
But she didn't actually shit her.
No. I think there might even be, from memory, I think there might be like a reference to, he says like technically something, and then she says, "I technically shit my fucking pants."
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
But that was the only time they swore?
I think there's like maybe a couple of others.
Wow.
Dotted throughout. But like, I love that elsewhere they're like, "Hey, Muffin Man, hey, butt breath." And then suddenly she goes, so like PG-13 swears, and then suddenly she's like, "I technically shit my fucking pants." They just like suddenly like, what the fuck where did that come from? It's so like, again, it's so like extreme.
Yeah.
Where like he's using like a slur.
Right, Jubilee.
Yeah, and it's like, she just suddenly goes, "I technically shit my fucking pants."
Potty mouth.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
The Generation X film was planned by Fox to air during Sweeps. Now, Sweeps, if you don't know, I had to look this up. Sweeps are what advertisers and stations in the US used to determine, this is so dry, but stick with me, used to determine local ad rates, giving stations a huge incentive to get those ratings as high as possible using any means necessary, by any means. So basically it's like someone checks in and goes, "Oh, how high are your ratings?" And you go, well fucking high. And then I go, "Right, well, we're going to give you this much money to advertise on your station." So they just like game it so that at that point, when it's measured, their ratings are super high. So often like big event episodes of US TV shows will air during Sweeps, so they'll like kill off a character or have like a big crossover or something like that. So
it's a bit of a risk to put something brand new in it then, surely.
So this
is not guaranteed.
Well, they expected Generation X to do well. They were like,
"Can't be so presumptuous, lads."
No, don't be presumptuous. Yeah. Don't be presumptuous. But they were backing it. They thought it'd do well. And though director Jack Shoulder later insisted that it was a one-off thing, a TV movie, so not planned as a pilot. Eric Blakeney, who was the writer-producer, he hoped it would lead to further Generation X TV movies or even a full series. X-Men co-creator Stan Lee even said, "If this thing doesn't create demand, I'll eat my hat."
So he had his hat.
Yeah, he had his hat. He's like, "Oh, this hat is really, really chewy." Yeah, I can't eat the whole fedora. The one contemporary review that I could track down from Variety is actually pretty generous. It says, "Director Jack Shoulder and scripter Eric Blakeney have succeeded in creating a well-planned telefilm, which taps every nuance that made this a top-selling comic series. VidPic also provides plenty of special effects and feats of daring do to keep even the most disenfranchised slacker tuned in." But later reviews have been more harsh. Generation X has a 4.4 out of 10 on IMDb and a 25% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. What are your thoughts, having only glimpsed moments from them? You haven't absorbed the whole thing. You haven't experienced the whole thing.
It's not exactly making me desperate to see it, but I like knowing it because I'm just fascinated by this era of
feels like sort of no one was held to account a little.
Yeah, just this weird era of the 90s where
anything had to sort of pass a quality threshold after this. It feels like post X-Men things had to sort of pass a certain quality.
Yeah, and just it
was the Wild West.
The budgets weren't quite there.
No.
Choosing weird things to make as well. We're back in the days where not much has happened yet in the superhero.
Yeah, you could have done anything.
I like the 90s-ness.
Yeah.
Again, the Hang Time, Saved by the Bell, Sweet Valley High.
Teen vibes.
Mixed with a bit of Lois and Clark and all
that kind of 90s vibe. Yeah.
I bet it's not as bad as everyone says it was. I bet if you watched it now, it's okay.
This is the thing, right? It's got a reputation for being like dreadful.
Because those clips were like, it's all right.
Yeah, it's got a reputation for being dreadful. I have a real soft spot for it. I definitely think it's not without merit. And like kind of objectively, it's not great. It's not great. But also, again, you have to remember it's a pre-MCU age. We didn't have big budget, glossy comic book movies coming out every 3 months or at all. I loved X-Men at the time. Probably my favorite Marvel property, probably still is. I loved the Generation X comic books. This was the first ever live action X-Men adaptation. So you kind of were like, well, this is great. I love it. I love it. And because of that, I'll always have a certain fondness for it, even though it's not great. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. Sort of did the best.
But it, helped pave the way.
There you go.
For X-Men and everything else.
Would you have had...
It found the castle.
Would you? Yeah, if nothing else.
If nothing else.
It found the castle.
It did that.
Yeah. So Generation X was released on VHS, but I don't believe it ever got a DVD or Blu-ray release. And
Funny
it's
that.
also not available to stream. But just Google it and you'll find it.
Was it ever aired again?
I don't think so. I think they're like, don't air it again. Definitely not during sweeps. Not the sweeps.
Sweeps.
So, yeah, that's it. For more Marvel retrospectives and other outings covering off classic films, TV shows, and video games, head to 2geeks2beers.com, where we have episodes on X-Men the Animated Series, Spider-Man the Animated Series, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, and the Incredible Hulk live-action series with Bill Bixby. Bill Bixby. Bill Bixby. Fighting robbers with Bill Bixby.
You can also follow us on all the socials, 2GeeksCast, on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and X. Also on YouTube and TikTok, where you'll find clips from episodes old and new, as well as full-length episodes. And please also rate and review the podcast via your podcast outlet of choice, where you can also subscribe.
You can also become a 2Geeks supporter on Patreon at patreon.com/2geekscast, where you can sponsor the podcast, and in return, you can get exclusive Patreon-only minisodes, outtakes, personalized thank you videos, merch, and much more. Just like John Taggart, our latest Patreon. Thanks a lot, John.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Really appreciate it. All the support that you and all our other patrons give us is what allows us to continue doing what we love, which is making this podcast. Cheers, John.
And right now, the latest one that we uploaded was a little mini-sode about Jason the Wheeled Warriors.
Yeah.
You know that one?
Yeah.
Head over there and you can hear us talking nonsense about that.
A little exclusive mini-sode for John Taggart.
Yeah.
And all the rest
Everyone else.
All the rest of you. Thank you, John. You can also email us, podcast@2geeks2beers.com, with any thoughts, feedback, and suggestions for future episodes. But that's all for now. Thanks for joining us. See you soon. Until then, sweet dreams, and try not to shit your fucking pants.
I'll try.
I'll try my best. So, alongside the sweary UK VHS edit of Generation X, there also seems to be other alternative cuts out there. Not entirely sure why. See if you can spot the difference between this and a scene we watched earlier.
Okay.
What seems to be the problem, Muffin Man? Oh, look, more special kids from juvie school. Welcome to Hastings, pube head.
Pube head.
So, in the earlier clip, butt breath.
Yeah.
Here,
pube head.
Now, one of those was considered worse than the other, and they were like, "Well, we can't air
pube
head, not like pre-watershed." Which is worse? Which would you like less like?
What was the other one?
Butt breath.
Or
pube head. Pube head. It's like one of those was considered so bad they had to.
Pube is worse.
They had to shoot an alternative version.
Yeah.
So like, not pube head.
Pube head.
We better reshoot it so he says butt breath.
I love the idea that they had to go back the next day and do the whole thing again.
Yeah. Pube head. No way. Get butt breath in there. Muffin Man can stay.